Hello, and welcome to the Impact Your Fitness podcast. My name is Jennifer Schwartz, and today I'm going to talk to you about why I have a fitness podcast. I have been podcasting since 2018 in the exercise space. I think it's interesting to, one, have a podcast that talks about the intellectual side of exercise because it's such a visual thing to most of us, and to be able to explore the science and the application and the rationale and the interconnectedness of exercise through the podcast medium is a challenge, and I like a challenge. So that's number one. Number two, I really enjoy, to my core, in my heart, sharing my ideas with the world. And having a fitness podcast is so much fun for me personally. It helps me grow on a deep level. And I really thank each and every one of you for listening for that reason. It feels good to share, and also share the experiences that I have had with healing and how the body is so wired to move and regenerate, and the beauty of exercise. Like, that excites me when I see and witness the interconnectedness of health, wellness, and exercise. I get so jazzed. And on top of that, I spent a few years witnessing what can happen as a result of the degeneration of the nervous system and the muscular system, because my mother had and died from Lou Gehrig's disease. So to facilitate growth, regeneration, healing through what I do every day in the studio is so empowering for my healing journey as well. Now, that's the second reason. The third reason is interesting because I'm not actually a trainer. And people often ask me this, so I've had to clear it up more than once. I love exercise, but I think about it so deeply, it's not on the same plane as what 99% of us understand to be exercise. So I'm a neuromuscular specialist, and essentially I look at myself as an electrician of the muscular system. And I help people reverse engineer and recall the healing of their old injuries with muscle activation techniques, the NuX NX Pro, which is a electrical stim device, a medical grade piece of equipment. And we also use neuromuscular exercise, which is essentially a really potent form of isometric exercise. So as an entrepreneur and educator, I strive to communicate in a whole new way to how to view exercise and view our bodies. So it's perspective. I teach people how to get the most out of their exercise. So that's where the fitness part comes in this podcast. I teach people how and why things happen so that they can execute it on their own. In my day-to-day clinic work, I help people recover from chronic issues, retrain their muscles and their movements after injury, and I help athletes perform at their best. So I love using muscle activation techniques with high-performing athletes. It is so fun. And what I stand by to be able to, have so many words about this journey that I need a podcast is that the muscular system is a missing focus of so many of the holistic ways and the wellness industry. So even within the wellness industry, I'm standing apart. And then I stand by sovereignty and interconnectivity. And that was actually on my MySpace profile in 2005 or 6. I dug that up when I was writing for the small, short podcast. And I also stand by letting ourselves or oneself experience fear and emotion, and how that is sometimes the medicine our body needs to improve and get stronger. That's a hot take. So I might have to do another episode on that. I'm also really excited about the idea that our body gives us so much feedback if we know how to listen. And knowing how to listen is just a hard skill. Like I have to push myself in that category when I'm doing intakes and sales with the clinic or the studio. And other people, it's about their body and their health. So that's a big, I guess, sticking point for me and the community. Okay, another thing that I stand by that I think needs a huge billboard in Times Square, a la Tim Ferriss, questioning, is that none of us are broken and that we're all kind of on this healing journey. And exercise is such an amazing way to take that power and feel that you aren't broken and that it was just all a beautiful cosm of events. And I also think exercise and having a fitness podcast is so important to feel love, because if we love our body and we have self-love, we can retrain so many things and thrive. I have two more. And one of the other messages I have for this podcast and all the podcasts that I produce in general is that gratitude builds resilience. So gratitude is a key that unlocks things. And when it comes to exercise, being grateful for the opportunity to work on your body is pretty huge. So I'm always looping that in whenever I can. In any of the conversations on Think Fit, Be Fit, Peach Pit, this podcast, any other ones that I guest on, I bring that as a huge message across the board. I have this definition of exercise and I think about it so deeply, but one of the main points is that fitness is being adaptable in many stages of life. And so when it comes to this podcast podium, I just want to say I'm open to any and all conversations about elevating your fitness. Let's bring it and let's continue to build this platform, a podcast network about intellectualizing the fitness journey and not making it about pain and soreness and punishing your body. Let's create a place to stand by these wonderful ideas that I just shared about loving the muscular system, honoring it, caring for it, and giving yourself the credit you deserve instead of beating yourself up. It's a huge opportunity we have. So many of us can't even calculate what, I guess, our older family members may have lost an opportunity because of their bodies and their aches and pains and the grind that they had to get through to provide a safe place for us and you and this generation. It's an amazing time to be here. I truly believe that. And I truly believe that this community is something that will grow and continue to grow because we're connected on that level of exercise, gratitude, feeling the love for both of those things and feeling the love for how the body can give us so much in this experience at this time. So yeah, that's why a fitness podcast. That is why as you can tell, I'm emotionally extended right now in feeling how great this podcast platform is. So thank you so much for being here. And I can't wait to hear about how the Think Fit, Be Fit network can impact your fitness. Leave us a review, send us a virtual high five through Instagram over at thinkfitbefit_podcast. Or over at our newsletter. You can sign up for it at thinkfitbefitpodcast.com, or you can join my newsletter at jennifersimoneschwartz.com. Thank you so much again. Many thanks. Have a great week.